রক্তের বন্যাগুলি বয়ে গেল, তখন সে স্বরাষ্ট্রমন্ত্রী শুনে নাই। এটা পরিকল্পিত হত্যা ছিল। আর্মিদের মারতে পারে তাই গদির মধ্যে বসে থাকতো, সেই জন্য উনি 17 বছর থেকে গেল। আজকে আর্মি পরিবার বিধবা কাপড় পরে সেটা বিচারে নাই। আর এই যে মৃত্যুরা ওবায়দুল কাদেরের জন্য, ওবায়দুল কাদের কোথায় আছে? উনি পরিকল্পিত এতগুলি হত্যা হলো। আজকে কতগুলি ছেলেরা হাসপাতালে কাতরাচ্ছে, চোখে অন্ধ হয়ে আছে। পুলিশ আত্মহত্যা দিল। পুলিশের নাম আমরা বলবো, আমরা যেহেতু মানবতা অ্যাডভোকেট, পুলিশ নিয়ে কাজ করি। পুলিশ আমাদের জীবন, আমাদের কাজ করতে হবে। আমরা চাপার মারি, আমরা রাজপথে সৈনিক, রাজপথ চালানোর সৈনিক, আমরা রাজপথকে ভালোবাসি।
এই যে রায়কে কেন্দ্র করে এই যে উৎসুক জনতা, মানুষ, সাধারণ মানুষ থেকে শুরু করে বিভিন্ন রাজনৈতিক দল,
সারা বাংলাদেশ কি হবে জানি না। সারা বাংলাদেশ যদি আগুন জ্বালায়, একটা কথা বলে দিব, উনার জন্য আগুন জ্বালানোর দরকার নাই। উনি যে অন্যায় কুলি করে গেছেন, উনি যে কি করে গেছেন, সুষ্ঠু বিচার হবে। গরিবের বুক খালি করছে, একটা রিক্সাওয়ালা হত্যা হচ্ছে, রিক্সাওয়ালার পরিবার আজকে বিধবা। সেদিন প্রত্যাশা আমরা চাই সঠিক বিচার। সবাই বলতে ফাঁসি হবে, আমরা এখনো রায় পাই নাই, কিন্তু সুষ্ঠু বিচার চাই। ফাঁসি হলে হয়ে যাবে। অনেকদিন বেঁচে অনেক কিছু খেয়েছেন, অনেক লুটপাট করছেন, এখন কবরে শান্তিতে ঘুমান, সেটা আমরা চাই।
শুনছিলেন যে এই ক্ষমতাচ্যুত শেখ হাসিনার যে জুলাই আগস্ট অভ্যুত্থানে মানবতা বিরোধী অপরাধের যে মামলার রায়, সেই মামলার রায় ঘিরে কিন্তু আমরা আপনাদের দেখানোর চেষ্টা করছি যে উৎসুক জনতার যে ভিড় আমরা এই মুহূর্তে দেখানোর চেষ্টা করছি। অর্থাৎ তারা বলছে যে শেখ হাসিনার যে রায়, সেই রায় থেকে তার যে অপরাধ করেছে সেই থেকে তারা ফাঁসির রায় কার্যকর চাচ্ছে। আমরা যদি আরো কয়েকজনের সাথে কথা বলে জানবো যে আসলে তারা কি চাচ্ছেন, আজকে কেমন রায় চাচ্ছেন। যে এই রায়কে ঘিরেই কিন্তু আমরা আপনাদের দেখানোর চেষ্টা করছি যে উৎসুক জনতার ভিড় আমরা এই মুহূর্তে আপনাদের দেখানোর চেষ্টা করছি।
এদেশের জনগণের তারা ক্ষমতার লোভী, তারা নিরীহ সাধারণ ছাত্র জনতার উপরে রাষ্ট্রযন্ত্র ব্যবহার করে গুলিবর্ষণ করেছে। সে আওয়ামী লীগের রাজনীতি করার কোনো অধিকার থাকে না, এবং তারা এই প্রেসিবাদের পথ অনুসরণ করবেন, তাদেরও ওই আওয়ামী লীগের মতো হবে এবং তাদের বাংলাদেশে জায়গা হবে না। স্পষ্ট পরিষ্কার ভাষায় বলে দিচ্ছি, এদেশকে ভালোবাসতে হলে, রাজনীতির নেতৃত্ব দিতে হলে নিজে না খেয়ে অনাহারীর মুখে খাবার দিতে হবে। আমরা দেখেছি রাজনৈতিক দলগুলো লম্বা লম্বা বস্তা ভরা বয়ান দেয়, আর দেশের মানুষের পেটের খাবার কেড়ে নিচ্ছে, পেটের খাওয়ান দেওয়ান তুইয়া তারা পেটের খাবার কেড়ে নিচ্ছে। তারা নদী থেকে বালু চুরি করছে, তারা কি করছে, জঙ্গলের গাছ চুরি করে নিয়েছে। তারা ক্ষমতায় যাওয়ার জন্য রাস্তায় বলে কেটে দিচ্ছে। এই সমস্ত কর্মকাণ্ড এই বাংলাদেশের মাটিতে কারা করছে?
দর্শক, আপনাদের ঠিক যেমনটি দেখানোর চেষ্টা করছি যে ক্ষমতাচ্যুত শেখ হাসিনার যে মামলার রায়, সে মামলার রায় ঘিরে কিন্তু আমরা যদি আপনাদের দেখানোর চেষ্টা করি, হাইকোর্টের সামনে উৎসুক জনতার আমরা ভিড় দেখতে পাচ্ছি, এবং আমরা আপনাদের এই মুহূর্তে তা বাংলা অ্যাফেয়ার্স ফেসবুক লাইভের মাধ্যমে দেখানোর চেষ্টা করছি যে তারা বলছে যে এই যে জুলাই আগস্ট অভ্যুত্থানের যে মানবতা বিরোধী অপরাধের যে মামলার রায়, তারা শেখ হাসিনার সর্বোচ্চ সাজা তারা চান। এবং আপনাদের যদি এই মুহূর্তে যদি দেখানোর চেষ্টা করি, হাইকোর্টের প্রাঙ্গণে যে আইন শৃঙ্খলা বাহিনীর অবস্থানও আমরা আপনাদের যদি একটু দেখানোর চেষ্টা করি যে সাবেক ক্ষমতাচ্যুত শেখ হাসিনার রায়কে ঘিরে কিন্তু আমরা যদি আপনাদের এই মুহূর্তে দেখানোর চেষ্টা করি যে বিজিবি সদস্য রয়েছে, বিজিবি এবং বাংলাদেশ সেনাবাহিনী, পুলিশ, র্যাব সহ তারা সতর্ক অবস্থানে রয়েছে। এবং এই ট্রাইব্যুনাল প্রাঙ্গণে এবং হাইকোর্ট প্রাঙ্গণে বলা যায় যে কঠোর আইন শৃঙ্খলা বাহিনীর নিয়ন্ত্রণে রাখা হয়েছে, যে কোনো রকমের যে কোনো অপ্রীতিকর ঘটনা না ঘটে, কোনো নাশকতা না ঘটে। দর্শক, আপনাদের যদি একটু জানিয়ে রাখি যে গত ধরে যে গত 13 তারিখ যে শেখ হাসিনার যে মামলার রায়ের দিন ধার্য, অর্থাৎ সেই ধার্যকে কিন্তু ঘিরে আমরা যদি আপনাদের একটু জানানোর চেষ্টা করি, সেই রায়কে ঘিরেই কিন্তু গত কয়েকদিন ধরে ঢাকার গুরুত্বপূর্ণ স্থানে ককটেল বিস্ফোরণ থেকে শুরু করে কিন্তু বাসে অগ্নিসংযোগের ঘটনা ঘটেছে। এবং আজকে যদি এবং তারপরে 17 তারিখ শেখ হাসিনার মামলার রায়ের দিন ধার্য হয়, অর্থাৎ সেই রায়ের দিনকে কেন্দ্র করে কিন্তু গত 16 এবং 17 তারিখে কার্যক্রম নিষিদ্ধ আওয়ামী লীগের নেতাকর্মীরা তারা বিদেশে বসে কিন্তু তারা শাটডাউন কর্মসূচি দিয়েছে। সেই শাটডাউন কর্মসূচির গত 13 নভেম্বর যে লকডাউন কর্মসূচির কিছুটা প্রভাব পড়লো, কিন্তু এই শাটডাউন কর্মসূচিতে তেমন কোনো কিছু লক্ষ্য করে নেই, তেমন কোনো প্রভাব পড়েনি। দর্শক, এই মুহূর্তে আমরা আপনাদের দেখানোর চেষ্টা করছি যে কিছুক্ষণ পরেই ক্ষমতাচ্যুত প্রধানমন্ত্রী শেখ হাসিনা সহ 3 জনের বিরুদ্ধে এই জুলাই গণঅভ্যুত্থানে মানবতা বিরোধী অপরাধের মামলার রায় ঘোষণা হবে। গত বছর জুলাই আগস্ট অভ্যুত্থান চলাকালে সংগঠিত তারা 5টি অপরাধে তারা অভিযুক্ত হয়েছে। আজকে সেই 5টি অভিযুক্ত এই রায় যে আপনাদের যদি যে 5টি অভিযোগ তা যদি একটু জানানোর চেষ্টা করি, যে গত বছর 14 জুলাই গণভবনে আয়োজিত সংবাদ সম্মেলনে শেখ হাসিনার উস্কানিমূলক বক্তব্য, আন্দোলনকারী ছাত্র জনতার উপর হেলিকপ্টার, ড্রোন, প্রাণঘাতী অস্ত্র ব্যবহারের মাধ্যমে হত্যার নির্দেশ প্রদান, এই বেগম রোকেয়া বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ের ছাত্র আবু সাইদকে গুলি করে হত্যা এবং সাঙ্কারপুল এলাকায় আন্দোলনকারী 6 জনকে গুলি করে হত্যা, আশুলিয়া 6 জনকে পোড়ানো, এই 5 অভিযোগে আজকে ক্ষমতাচ্যুত সাবেক প্রধানমন্ত্রী শেখ হাসিনা সহ 3 জনের বিরুদ্ধে যে মামলার যে রায়, এই 5 অভিযোগ এনে এই মামলাটির রায় হবে। আজকে সেই রায়ের অপেক্ষা যদি আমরা আপনাদের একটু হাইকোর্টের সামনে চিত্র দেখানোর চেষ্টা করি, যে এই রায়কে কেন্দ্র করে এই হাইকোর্টের সামনে আমরা আপনাদের দেখানোর চেষ্টা করছি যে উৎসুক জনতার ব্যাপক উপস্থিতি রয়েছে এবং তারা বলছে যে কি রায় আসবে সেই রায় শোনার জন্যই তারা অপেক্ষা রয়েছে। এখানে আমরা বেশ উৎসুক জনতার ভিড় আমরা আপনাদের এই মুহূর্তে দর্শক দেখানোর চেষ্টা করছি যে শেখ হাসিনার মামলার রায়কে ঘিরে কিন্তু এখানে অবস্থান করছে উৎসুক জনতা। আমরা আপনাদের সেই চিত্রে দর্শক এই মুহূর্তে দেখানোর চেষ্টা করছি যে হাইকোর্টের সামনে উৎসুক জনতার অবস্থান রয়েছে। তারা শেখ হাসিনার ফাঁসির দাবিতে তারা কিন্তু এই উৎসুক জনতার ভিড় কিন্তু আমরা আপনাদের দেখানোর চেষ্টা করছি। দর্শক, আপনাদের যদি একটু জানিয়ে রাখি যে এই জুলাই গণঅভ্যুত্থান সংগঠিত সময় যে মানবতা বিরোধী অপরাধের দায়ে ক্ষমতাচ্যুত প্রধানমন্ত্রী শেখ হাসিনার বিরুদ্ধে প্রথম যে মামলা করা হয়, অর্থাৎ এই মামলার রায় ঘোষণা হবে আজ। আন্তর্জাতিক ট্রাইব্যুনাল 1 এর বিচারপতি গোলাম মুর্তাজার নেতৃত্বে 3 সদস্যের বেঞ্চে এই রায়ের জন্য ধার্য করা হয়। এই রায়ের অপর 2 বিচারপতি রয়েছে শফিউল আলম মাহমুদ ও মহিতুল হক চৌধুরী, এনাম চৌধুরী। শেখ হাসিনার পাশাপাশি অপর 2 আসামি রয়েছে সাবেক স্বরাষ্ট্রমন্ত্রী আসাদুজ্জামান খান কামাল ও সাবেক পুলিশের আইজিপি আব্দুল্লাহ আল মামুন তাদের বিরুদ্ধে। এবং এর মধ্যে আব্দুল্লাহ আল মামুন তিনি হয়েছেন রাজসাক্ষী এবং তিনি কারাবন্দী রয়েছেন। শেখ হাসিনা ও কামাল পলাতক রয়েছে ভারত। তাদের বিরুদ্ধে ট্রাইব্যুনাল থেকে ওয়ারেন্ট জারি হয়। তাদের অনুপস্থিতিতে রায় হচ্ছে আজ। রায় ঘোষণা উপলক্ষে 3 আসামির মধ্যে সাবেক পুলিশ আইজিপি আব্দুল্লাহ আল মামুন তিনি কিন্তু জেলে রয়েছে, অর্থাৎ এই ট্রাইব্যুনাল প্রাঙ্গণে আমরা যদি আপনাদের একটু দেখানোর চেষ্টা করি, এই সাবেক ক্ষমতাচ্যুত প্রধানমন্ত্রী শেখ হাসিনার রায়কে ঘিরে কিন্তু এই হাইকোর্ট প্রাঙ্গণের সামনে উৎসুক জনতার ভিড়। ভিতরে যদি আমরা একটু দেখানোর চেষ্টা করি, ট্রাইব্যুনালের ভিতরে আইন শৃঙ্খলা বাহিনী কঠোর নিরাপত্তাতে রেখেছে এবং রয়েছে বাংলাদেশ সেনাবাহিনী, বিজিবির সদস্যদেরও আমরা যদি আপনাদের এই মুহূর্তে দেখানোর চেষ্টা করি যে কঠোর অবস্থানে তারা রয়েছে, যে কোনো রকমের যে কোনো অপ্রীতিকর ঘটনা না ঘটে এবং যে কোনো নাশকতা না ঘটে তার জন্য তারা সতর্ক অবস্থানে রয়েছে। আমরা যদি আপনাদের আরেকটু জানিয়ে রাখি, এই রায়কে কিন্তু কেন্দ্র করে গত কয়েকদিন ধরেই কিন্তু এই ঢাকার গুরুত্বপূর্ণ কিছু স্থানে যে এই ককটেল বিস্ফোরণের ঘটনা এবং অগ্নিসংযোগের ঘটনাও কিন্তু ঘটেছে। এবং এই 17 তারিখ রায়কে ঘিরে কিন্তু কার্যক্রম নিষিদ্ধ আওয়ামী লীগের যে নেতা কর্মীরা রয়েছে তারা কিন্তু বিদেশে বসে পালিয়ে থেকে কিন্তু পলাতক থেকে কিন্তু তারা এই অনলাইনের মাধ্যমে কিন্তু তারা এই শাটডাউন কর্মসূচি ঘোষণা দিয়েছে। তেমনটা গত 13 নভেম্বর যে কিছুটা অস্বাভাবিক পরিস্থিতি থাকলো, কিন্তু এই 16-17 তারিখের যেই শাটডাউন তেমন অস্বাভাবিক কিছুই আমরা লক্ষ্য করছি না। এবং তা কিন্তু এই যে আমরা যদি বর্তমান চিত্র আপনাদের দেখানোর চেষ্টা করি, যে কিছুক্ষণ পরেই সাবেক ক্ষমতাচ্যুত প্রধানমন্ত্রী শেখ হাসিনার যে জুলাই আগস্ট অভ্যুত্থানে সংঘটিত মানবতা বিরোধী অপরাধের মামলার রায় হবে। রায়কে ঘিরে কিন্তু দেশীয় বিদেশীয় গণমাধ্যম রয়েছে। এবং আপনাদের যদি আরেকটু জানিয়ে রাখি, এই শেখ হাসিনার এই রায় কিন্তু সরাসরি সম্প্রচার করা হবে এই বিটিভিতে, এবং বিদেশি কয়েকটা গণমাধ্যমও কিন্তু তা সরাসরি সম্প্রচার করা হবে। আমরা যদি আপনাদের এই মুহূর্তে ট্রাইব্যুনালের সামনে চিত্র দেখানোর চেষ্টা করি, যে আমরা আপনাদের বর্তমানে ট্রাইব্যুনালের সামনে চিত্র দেখানোর চেষ্টা করছি দর্শক, বাংলা অ্যাফেয়ার্স ফেসবুক লাইভের মাধ্যমে। কিছুক্ষণ পরে ঘোষণা করা হবে যে সাবেক ক্ষমতাচ্যুত প্রধানমন্ত্রী শেখ হাসিনা সহ 3 জনের বিরুদ্ধে যে জুলাই আগস্ট সংঘটিত মানবতা বিরোধী অপরাধের মামলার যে রায়, সে রায় ঘোষণা করা হবে। এই রায়কে ঘিরেই কিন্তু আমরা এই মুহূর্তে আপনাদের দেখানোর চেষ্টা করছি যে আইন শৃঙ্খলা বাহিনী সতর্ক অবস্থানে রয়েছে, এবং ট্রাইব্যুনালের আশেপাশে এলাকা সহ এই ট্রাইব্যুনালের সামনে কিন্তু সেনাবাহিনী মোতায়েন করা হয়েছে, এবং র্যাব এবং বিজিবিও মোতায়েন করা হয়েছে। এবং আমরা যদি আপনাদের এই মুহূর্তে তা দর্শক সরাসরি দেখানোর চেষ্টা করছি বাংলা অ্যাফেয়ার্স ফেসবুক লাইভের মাধ্যমে।
Much awaited judgment. Before reading out the judgment, I want to extend thanks to the investigation team headed by co-coordinator for the conducting of the strenuous job. They have done a very tough job, I will say, the investigation team. And I like to mention of Mr. Alamgir, investigating officer, and Mr. Joha, and other members of the investigation team. Many thanks to them. Thanks to my bench officers, assistant bench officers, and those who operated our devices and machineries, including Mr. Meher. He has done a lot in the preparation of the judgment. I also like to extend thanks to my registry, to all the staff, and to the respected journalists who have been working very hard to collect the informations of this tribunal during the last a long period. And we are very much thankful, grateful to the members of the martyrs and those who have been injured, who have lost their eyes, their skulls, their nose, teeth, legs, hands, handicapped. In spite of being handicapped, they attended the court, they deposed in the court, and they assisted in the running of the trial of the case. We are thankful to our police personnel and all other security staff, BGB, SB, DB, Metropolitan Police, and all others. And many thanks to those who have come to depose in the court. And very much thankful to the prosecution. The learned prosecutor, Mr. Izanul Islam, Mr. Ghazi Manoarul Hussain, they played a substantial part in the trial. And I will mention the other names of the prosecutors who have also contributed to some extent from time to time during the proceeding of this case. And they are Mr. Sultan Mahmud, Mr. Shahidul Islam Sardar, Mr. Farooq Ahmed, Mr. Abdullah Al-Numan, Mr. Abdul Sattar, Mr. Mamun Rashid, MD Hassanul Banna, S.M. Moinul Karim, Mr. Saikul Mahdi, Mr. Tariq Abdullah, Mr. Saimum Raja, Mr. Tasmirul Islam, Mr. Tanvir Hussain Joha. Our thanks to all our staff, whose names I could not mention by this time. Our heartfelt thanks to the learned Attorney General, who have attended the trial at the inception and at the conclusion. Over and above, our thanks from the core of our heart to Mr. Tajul Islam, the learned Chief Prosecutor, for playing the part of excellence. We are thankful to all others. Thank you all. Now let us say something about, I am sorry, I am very much sorry. Our sincere thanks to the learned defense lawyers, particularly the learned state defense lawyer, Mr. Amir Hussain. Many people will say many things, but he has done a lot. And he, in our view, in our estimation, to the best of his possibility, he played the exact role he was supposed to, and that we expected. Thanks to him again. And if anyone is left, sorry that we do not by this time recollect. Our thanks to the learned Attorney General again for his kind presence. We are sorry for being late because many things are connected in the preparation of the judgment. This is a very big matter. For the last couple of days, we could sleep very little, and we had to work continuously for 10 to 12 hours every day. So, anyway, this is our job, but all of you are waiting. You have participated in many ways. Thanks to you all. Now let us discuss something about the judgment. I want to give an idea of the judgment. The judgment comprises 453 pages. And it consists of 6 parts. The first part includes the index, description of the prosecutors, learned prosecutors and the learned defense counsels, introduction of the accused, origin and object of the tribunal, jurisdiction of the tribunal. Article 7 of the Rome Statute, which is the basis of trial of our tribunal. elements of the crime against humanity. We are trying the offense that we are holding trial of the crime against humanity. So elements of crime against humanity, these are enunciated by the Rome Statute and being followed and exercised by the International Criminal Court and other international tribunals. We are also following the Rome Statute as well as our law, and particularly the elements as enshrined therein. And elements of superior command responsibility. In such cases, superior command responsibility is bulkily involved, and that's why we have to have regard to this aspect as well. And we have stated the standard of the tribunal. That is, we compared the standard of this tribunal with the standard of the other international tribunals as well as the International Criminal Court. And we have said about the trial procedure, part 2, pre-trial proceedings, part 3, prosecution story and defense case. We have stated about learned chief prosecutor's submission on charge, learned state defense counsel's submission on charge, thereupon decision on charge, and then we have given the description of evidences in part 4. In part 4, we have also given an account of the testimonies of the prosecution witnesses. In part 5, we have given the illustration of the evidences, that is the discussion of the evidences. Used arms and ammunitions. We have given an account of the used arms and ammunitions. We have given a description, we have discussed about the telephonic conversations of accused Sheikh Hasina with a number of persons from time to time. We have discussed and extracted the reports of daily newspapers concerning the issues of this case, reports of United Nations Human Rights Commission, reports of Odhikar, another Human Rights Commission, reports of Human Rights Watch, and Globe Institute, and so on. We have discussed about the videos of the occurrences which have been displayed in the tribunal. And we have described the extent of cruelty administered upon the victims who have died and who have been seriously injured and lost their vital organs of the body. And we have talked about seized alamots. We have given account of the murders, number of murders, in accordance with the gazette notifications published by our government and in accordance with the reports of United Nations Human Rights Commission and other organizations. In this context, I want to say that the exact report of martyrs or the victims or the sufferers or the injured persons or those whose whereabouts could not be traced, this is quite natural. You will understand that since our liberation war in 1971, still we could not finalize the list of martyrs, the list of freedom fighters, list of the war criminals and others. So there are lists, but it varies. So it's a timely matter. It may vary. Somewhere you will find the figure 800, somewhere 1000, somewhere 1400. So substantial amount of the protesters have been killed. This is the fact. We have described the police messages and directions passed from the high-ups to the downwards for doing the needful to control the protesters curfew orders. Then in part 6, we have given an account of the learned Chief Prosecutor's arguments. The points of arguments, pertinent points of arguments have been described. We have also described the pertinent points of arguments raised by the learned State Defence Council. Thereafter, we have given an account of our observations and inference. And finally, we passed the order. So, this is all about the judgment. Now we will read out the very pertinent portions of the judgment, one by one. At first, our learned member 2, he will read out a portion of the judgment commencing from origin and object of the tribunal, jurisdiction of the tribunal, and he will read out Article 7 of Rome Statute, elements of crime against humanity, elements of superior command status, responsibility, and then the charges. Thereafter, learned member 1, he will read out some portions from the discussion of the evidences, the report of the United Nations Human Rights Commission, and then the extent of cruelty administered upon the victims, and thereafter the points of arguments submitted by the learned Chief Prosecutor and the learned State Defence Council. And finally, I will read out the conclusion and the order. So it will take about 40 minutes. We hope that you will be listening to the deliberations. Thank you very much. Now the turn of our learned member 2, he is reading out as I have mentioned.
Origin and object of the tribunal. The International Crimes Tribunal has been established under the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973 to provide for the detention, prosecution and punishment of the persons for genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes and other crimes under international law committed within or beyond the territory of Bangladesh, whether before or after commencement of the Act. Jurisdiction of the tribunal. The tribunal has got the jurisdiction to try the offences enshrined in Section 3 and 4 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973. Section 3 provides, a tribunal shall have the power to try and punish any individual or group or individuals, organization or any member of any disciplined force, auxiliary force or intelligence agency who, irrespective of his nationality, commits or has committed within or beyond the territory of Bangladesh, whether before or after the commencement of this Act, any of the crimes mentioned in its subsection 2. According to subsection 2 of Section 3, the following acts or any of them is crime within the jurisdiction of a tribunal for which there shall be individual responsibility. The Constitution of Bangladesh has given upper hand in Article 47, subclause 3 thereof to the application of the provisions of International Crimes Tribunals Act 1973 in the following manner. Notwithstanding anything contained in this Constitution, no law nor any provision thereof providing for detention, prosecution or punishment of any persons who is a member of any armed or defense or auxiliary forces or any individual group of individuals or organization or who is a prisoner of war for genocide, crimes against humanity, or war crimes and other crimes and crimes under international law shall be deemed void or unlawful, or ever to have become void or unlawful on the ground that such law or provisions of any such law is inconsistent with or repugnant to any of the provisions of the constitutions. Crime against humanity, namely murder, extermination, enslavement, deportation, imprisonment, abduction, confinement, torture, rape, sexual exploitation, enforced disappearance, human trafficking, sexual slavery, enforced prostitution, forced pregnancy, enforced sterilization or other inhuman acts when committed as part of a widespread or systematic attack direct against any civilian population with knowledge of the attack, or persecutions on political, racial, ethnic or religious grounds, whether or not in violation of the domestic law of the country were perpetrated. Section 4 provides as follows: any individual or groups of individuals or any member of any disciplined force, auxiliary force or intelligence agency who commits a crime within the jurisdiction of the tribunal shall be responsible and liable for a punishment. Any commander, superior officer or leader who orders, permits, acquiesces, incites or participates in the commission of any of the crimes specified in Section 3, or is connected with any plans or activities involving the commissions of such crimes, or who fails or omits to discharge his duty to maintain a disciplined or to control or supervise the actions of the persons under his command or his subordinates, whereby such persons or subordinates or any of them commit any such crimes, or who fails to take necessary measure to prevent the commission of such crimes. Now, crimes against humanity according to Rome Statute. For the purpose of this statute, crime against humanity means any of the following acts when committed as part of a widespread or systematic attack directed against any civilian population with the knowledge of the attack: A. Murder. I am reading the relevant ones: murder, torture, other inhuman acts of a similar character intentionally causing great suffering or serious injury to body or to mental or physical health. The core offense in the instant case is the crime against humanity. Thus, we have to see what elements are required to constitute this crime. In Section 4 of the Act, there must be an attack. B. The attack must be widespread or systematic. C. The attack must be targeted a civilian population. D. The attack must be within the knowledge of the superior, or the superior should have known of the attack in order to hold him or her liable for the crime. The superior must have been in the control over the concerned subordinates. Elements of superior command responsibility. From the jurisprudence and eminent from the international crimes tribunals, it is generally agreed that 4 elements must be proven for a person to be held responsible as superior. The elements are: 1. An international crimes must have been perpetrated by someone other than the accused. 2. There existed a superior subordinate relationship between the accused and the perpetrator. 3. The accused as a superior knew or had reason to know that the subordinate was about to commit such crimes or had done so. 4. The accused as a superior failed to take the necessary and reasonable measure to prevent such crimes or punish the perpetrator. Section 4, subsection 2 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act provides that any commander or superior, officer who orders, permits, acquiesces, or participates in the commission of any of the crimes specified in Section 3 or is connected with any plans and activities involving the commission of such crimes, or who fails or omits to discharge his duty to maintain discipline or to control or supervise the actions of the persons under his command or his subordinates, whereby such persons or subordinates or any of them commit any such crime, who fails to take necessary measures to prevent the commission of such crime is guilty of such crimes. Now, I am going to read the charges. On the point of the jurisdiction of this tribunal raised by the learned State Defence Council, it may be noted that there is no scope in law to raise such question, since question of jurisdiction of the tribunal is barred by Section 24 of the International Crimes Tribunal Act. Regarding the allegations against the accused, he merely made flat denials thereto without showing anything subsistence contrary to the acts complained of. On the other hand, on perusal of the formal charges and the documents submitted therewith, and also in consideration of the submission of the learned Chief Prosecutor and the learned State Defence Council, it has been made to appear to us that there are sufficient grounds for framing charges against the accused under Section 3, subsection 2, read with Section 4 of the Act. On hearing both sides, 5 charges were framed against accused Sheikh Hasina individually, and separate 5 charges were framed against accused Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun jointly. But on scrutiny of the documents and examination of the witnesses of the tribunal deems to condign to reshape the charges for ends of justice, and accordingly the same charges framed earlier have been modified in the following manner. Charge number 1. Incitement in order to attack and kill protesting students of Dhaka University and other academic institutions of the country, and also failure to take preventive and punitive measures, and thus killing hundreds and severely injuring thousands of protesters during July Uprising 2024, commencing on 1st July 2024 and ending on 5th August 2024, accused Sheikh Hasina as the Prime Minister of Bangladesh and the President of the ruling party of Bangladesh, Awami League, as well as 14th Party Alliance, in a press conference on 14/7/24 at Gaurav Bhavan, made the following derogatory remark. মুক্তিযোদ্ধার নাতিপুতিরা চাকরি পাবে না তো কি রাজাকারের নাতিপুতিরা চাকরি পাবে? If the grandchildren of freedom fighters should not get job, should the grandchildren of Rajakars get it? Pointing towards the protesters of anti-discrimination student movement while demanding rational reform of quota system in government job, whereby the left defamed and aggrieved, since Rajakars are considering as collaborators of occupant Pakistan army during liberation war of 71, and thereafter the term has been being used to stigmatize an individual or group of individuals as enemy of the state of the people. Moreover, in a telephonic conversation with ASM Maksud Kamal, the then Vice Chancellor of Dhaka University, Sheikh Hasina, mentioned that she ordered to hang the protesters as the Rajakars have been hanged before. Furthermore, being incited and inspired by the said remark, Cabinet Minister and Awami League Secretary Obaidul Qadir, separately charged, made another provocative, aggressive remark on 15th July of 2024 at 12 noon, saying, আন্দোলন দমনে ছাত্রলীগই যথেষ্ট। Chhatra League is enough to bring the movement under control. And as such, the students, female and male, came down to the streets chanting slogans against herself and her party of government. Meanwhile, her subordinates, including the cabinet members, police and other law enforcing agencies, activists of four-party Awami League and its affiliated and allied organization go to incited and inspired of the aforesaid remarks of you and Obaidul Qadir, and thus they launched widespread and systematic attack within your full knowledge upon the peaceful statement protesters in Dhaka University, causing 297 students injured and many others in different educational institutions throughout the country, including Rangpur Begum Rokeya University, where Abu Said was brutally shot dead by police. By your incitement and order to kill the protesting students who have been injured and killed as the foresight, and also by failure to take preventive and punitive measure against the perpetrators, accused Sheikh Hasina committed the crimes against humanity under Section 3, subsection 2, under Section 4, subsection 1, clause B, and Section 4, clause 3, subsection 3, read with Section 20A of the International Crimes Tribunal Act 1973. Charge number 2. Order to use lethal weapon, drones and helicopters to kill the protesters and execution of the order. During the July uprising 2024, accused Sheikh Hasina held a conversation over telephone with Dr. A.S.M. Maksud Kamal, the then Vice Chancellor of Dhaka University, from Ganabhavan on 14th July 2024 at about 11 p.m., wherein she mentioned that she already ordered to kill the protesters like the Rajakars who had been hanged before. Again on July 18th, Sheikh Hasina conversed over telephone with Sheikh Fazlanur Taposh, the then Mayor of Dhaka South City Corporation, mentioning that she had already given direction to the law enforcement agencies to use helicopter and lethal weapons to kill and eliminate the peaceful, unarmed civilian protesters, and also ordered them to use drones to locate the protesters. She also told him that she passed orders to arrest and protesters across the country. As a result of above statement, directions, the Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and the Inspector General of Police Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun successively implemented the directions through their underlings, that is law enforcing agencies, by deploying drones and helicopters in the sky, killing about 1,400 protesters, including women and children, indiscriminately and gravely injuring about 25,000 of them throughout the country by using lethal weapons everywhere from 16th July 2024 and helicopters somewhere from 18 July 2024 up to 5th August 2024, and thereby Sheikh Hasina, Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun committed crimes against humanity as a joint criminal enterprise punishable under Section 3, subsection 2, clause A, G, H, Section 4, clause B, C, Section 4, subsection 3, read with Section 20A of the International Crimes Tribunal Act. Charge number 3. Killing 6 protesters at Chankharpur with lethal weapons. The protesters convened a program titled March to Dhaka to be held on 5th August and made a call to the people of all walks throughout the country to march to Dhaka on the scheduled day. People of all spheres began to assemble in Dhaka from every part of the country on August 5th. By incitement, order and inaction of Sheikh Hasina, by abatement and inaction of Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal and Inspector General of Police Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun, the successive underlings got incited and inspired to kill the protesting students and common people, and thereupon under order supervision and inaction of accused Asadujaman Khan Kamal, Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun, and the then Dhaka Metropolitan Commissioner DMP Habibur Rahman, Joint Commissioner Shudip Kumar Chakraborty, Additional Deputy Commissioner Shah Alam Muhammad Akhtarul Islam, Assistant Commissioner Muhammad Imrul, and Inspector Muhammad Ashad Hussain, who have been separately prosecuted, successively ordered to commit atrocities to the protesters assembled at Chankharpur of Dhaka and supervised the same, and during such atrocities, 6 unarmed protesters, namely Shahriyan Khan Anas, Sheikh Mahdi Hassan Junaid alias Mustaqin, Muhammad Yaqub, Muhammad Rakib Hawladar, Muhammad Ismamul Haq, and Manik Mia alias Shahrik were shot dead by Constable Shujan Hussain, Constable Imaj Hussain, and Constable Nasirul Islam, who have been separately prosecuted at Chankharpur as part of widespread and systematic attack. The aforesaid killings took place pursuant to the order of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, within her full knowledge and under order, supervision, and within the knowledge of Home Minister Asadujaman Khan Kamal and Inspector General of Police Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun, and by such killings they committed crimes against humanity as joint criminal enterprise by order, abatement, and inaction to prevent and punish the perpetrators under Section 3, Subsection 2, read with Tribunal Act 1973.
So these are now the turn of learned member 1. It transpires from the prosecution witnesses deposed in corroboration of the facts of incitement and order of accused Sheikh Hasina to deploy drones and helicopters and also to use lethal weapons to kill the protesters. The daily newspapers of Bangladesh also published reports of such incitement and order of Sheikh Hasina. Moreover, the prosecution executed the pen drive CD containing telephonic conversation of Sheikh Hasina with Dhaka University Vice Chancellor A.K.M. Maqsood Kamal, Dhaka South City Corporation Mayor Fazlenut Taposh, and Hasanul Haq Inu. The concerned device containing the said conversations have been played in the tribunal, and thereupon we find that in the conversation with the Dhaka University Vice Chancellor A.S.M. Maqsood Kamal, accused Sheikh Hasina mentioned that she already ordered to hang the students as Razakars have been hanged. Now I am mentioning the substantial portion from his conversation with, from her conversation with A.S.M. Maqsood Kamal, the accused Vice Chancellor of Dhaka University. Sheikh Hasina, to রাজাকারের তো ফাঁসি দিছি, এবার তাদেরও তাই করব, একটাও ছাড়বো না, আমি বলে দিচ্ছি। শেখ হাসিনা, কোন দেশে বাস করি আমরা? এদেরকে বাড়তে বাড়তে তো রাজাকার অবস্থা হয়েছে, দেখিস নাই? সবগুলোকে ফাঁসি দিছি, এবার তোদেরও ছাড়বো না। শেখ হাসিনা, সব এইগুলাকে বাইর করে দিতে হবে, আমি বলে দিছি, আজকে সহ্য করার পরে অ্যারেস্ট করবে, ধরে নেবে এবং যা অ্যাকশন নেওয়ার নেবে। Then it also appears from the conversation with Dhaka South City Corporation Mayor Fazlenut Taposh, accused Sheikh Hasina told him that she ordered to kill the protesting students by using helicopters and lethal weapons. The substantial portion of the conversation is Sheikh Hasina, দরকার নাই, ওটা দরকার নাই, আমি সেনাপ্রধানের সাথে কথা বলেছি, ওরা রেডি থাকবে, ঠিক আছে। এখন তো আমরা অন্য করতেছি, ড্রোন দিয়ে ছবি নিচ্ছি আর হেলিকপ্টারে হচ্ছে মানে কয়েক জায়গায়। তাপস, তাহলে ওই কিছু ছবি দেখে পাকড়াও করা যায় না তাদের রাতের মধ্যে? শেখ হাসিনা, সবগুলিকে অ্যারেস্ট করতে বলেছি রাত্রে। তাপস, হ্যাঁ, পাকড়াও করলে ওদেরকে। শেখ হাসিনা, না, ওটা বলা হয়ে গেছে,
ওটা নিয়ে র্যাব, ডিজিএফআই, এনএসআই সবাইকে বলা হয়েছে যে যেখান থেকে যে কয়টা পারবা ধইরা ফেল। তাপস: জি। শেখ হাসিনা: ওটা বলা আছে। আর এখানে গ্যাদারিং দেখবে সেখানে, আর যেখানে গ্যাদারিং দেখবে সেখানে ওই উপর থেকে করাচ্ছি, অলরেডি শুরু হয়েছে কয়েকটা জায়গায়। তাপস: জি। শেখ হাসিনা: আমার নির্দেশনা দেয়া আছে, ওপেন নির্দেশনা দিয়ে দিছি। এখন লেথাল উইপন ব্যবহার করবে, যেখানে পাবে সোজা গুলি করবে। তাপস: জি জি। শেখ হাসিনা: না পড়াইয়া দিছে, মেশিনপত্র সব পুড়ে গেছে। আমি বলছি যা পড়াতে, ও আমাদের সেতু ভবন পড়াইছে। তাপস: জি, ওরা রাতে মনে হয় আরো ব্যাপক আক্রমণ করবে। In the conversation with the Hasanullah Inu, accused Sheikh Hasina mention of bombing upon the protesters from the helicopter. The substantial portion, relevant portion from the conversation. Sheikh Hasina: না, আমি বলছি ক্যাজুয়ালিটির দরকার নাই, ওরা ব্যারিকেড নিয়ে আছে তো ঠিক আছে, আকাশ থেকে নামবে, তখন দুই পাশ দিয়ে ধরবে। মেসেজটা দিয়ে দিতে পারেন যে সেনা পাঠানো হচ্ছে আর হেলিকপ্টার দিয়ে সোজা বম্বিং করা হবে, র্যাবের হেলিকপ্টার দিয়ে উপর দিয়ে মারবে। হাসানুল্লাহ কিনু: আপনি এই জামাত শিবিরের মেরুদণ্ডতা আবার ভেঙে দেন ঢাকা শহরে। শেখ হাসিনা: এক্কেবারে। শেখ হাসিনা: হ্যালো। হাসানুল্লাহ কিনু: হ্যালো, জি আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আমি ইনু বলছিলাম। হ্যালো। শেখ হাসিনা: হ্যাঁ বলেন। আচ্ছা, আমি এটা স্ক্রলে দিয়ে দিতে বলছি যে তোমরা ছাত্ররা সব ঘরে ফেরো, গার্ডিয়ানদেরকে বলছি এইখানে কিন্তু জঙ্গি হামলা হয়েছে। হাসানুল্লাহ কিনু: হ্যাঁ, এটা রাইট। শেখ হাসিনা: না, এটা আমাকে বেশ কিছু আন্তর্জাতিক পাইছি, তারা এটাকে জঙ্গি হামলা হিসেবে কনসিডার বলতেছে। হাসানুল্লাহ কিনু: হ্যাঁ, জঙ্গি হামলাই হয়েছে, এই কার্ডটা খেলবো আমরা এখন। শেখ হাসিনা: না, কার্ড খেলা না, এটা আমি আগে করি নাই, কিন্তু আমাকে আন্তর্জাতিক সংস্থা থেকে মেসেজটা দিচ্ছে যে এটা জঙ্গি হামলা। হাসানুল্লাহ কিনু: জঙ্গি সন্ত্রাসের মোকাবিলা করছে এখন সরকার। শেখ হাসিনা: তারা আমাকে এটাই বলছে যে এটা জঙ্গি হামলা, দিয়ে দিব পেপারে। Reports of international and national organizations. United Nations Human Rights Office held an investigation into July-August 2024 atrocities in Bangladesh and mentioned in its report that the following inhuman and unlawful acts were committed by protesters during the movement and reported as follows. Based on direct testimony from senior officials involved and other inside sources, OHCHR was able to establish that the integrated and systematic effort using the entire range of police, paramilitary, military and intelligence actors, as well as violent elements linked to the Awami League to commit serious violations and abuses occurred with the full knowledge, coordination and direction of the political leadership. The then Prime Minister and Home Affairs Minister led parallel efforts to coordinate the security and intelligence apparatus. Both received regular reports on the situation on the ground from multiple sources. According to senior official testimony, reports provided to the Prime Minister by senior officers on 21 July and in early August specifically conveyed concern about excessive use of force. Both political leaders and the leadership of Bangladesh Police and the Army also carried out site visits that would have provided them direct personal knowledge of violations that had taken place or were ongoing. Furthermore, the political leadership issued direct orders and other directives authorizing and guiding operations by BGB, RAB, DGRI, the Bangladesh Police and its detective branch that involved serious violations of human rights against protesters and other civilians, including extrajudicial killings and arbitrary detention. Based on reported deaths complied by governmental and non-governmental sources in combination with other available evidence, OHCHR assesses that as many as 1,400 people could have been killed during the protests. The vast majority of whom were killed by military rifles and shotguns loaded with lethal metal pellets commonly used by Bangladesh's security forces. Thousands more suffered severe, often life-altering injuries. More than 11,700 people were arrested and detained, according to the information from the police and RAB provided to OHCHR. Government attempted to intimidate and delegitimate the student protest movement, mobilized of Satruli police and paramilitary forces, materialize of policing in Bangladesh, incited violence by armed Awami League and activists on and around university premises, conducted coordinated attacks by armed Awami League supporters and the police, use of force violations by police, RAB and BGB, including extrajudicial killing, like killing Abu Said of Begum Ruqya University, Rangpur, 16 July, made systematic, indiscriminate use of shotguns loaded with lethal ammunition, suppressed peaceful assembly at Dhaka University on 17 July. Police, RAB and BGB extrajudicially killed protesters in Uttara on 18 July. Disproportionate and indiscriminate use of firearms in response to violent unrest, indiscriminately shooting in Rampura and Badda by BGB and police on July 19. Violently cleared the Dhaka-Chattogram highway in Jatrabari on between 16 to 21 July. Extrajudicial killings to suppress the march to Dhaka on August 5 involved the army who shot at protesters at Jamuna Future Park on 5th August 2024, used helicopter to intimidate and deploy possibly unlawful force, obstructed of medical care and denied necessary medical documentation, obstructed medical treatment of victim Sheikh Asabul Yamin, shot by police, caused mass arbitrary arrests, detention without due process and torture and ill treatment, caused block raids and mass arrests, including injured persons. Students and opposition leaders attacked journalists, children and women and caused unjustified shutdown of internet. In the said report, Mr. Volker Turk, the High Commissioner of Human Rights Office of United Nations, that the atrocities committed in July Revolution 2024 in Bangladesh was preconcerted and systematic in order to remaining in power. There are cogent grounds to believe that hundreds of extrajudicial killings, arrests, detention and torture were carried out by the political leaders and the highest law enforcing authorities within their knowledge and under their direction and supervision as strategy to suppress the movement, whereby human rights have been seriously violated and thus international crimes have been committed. He also observed that the evidences collected do depict a picture of widespread state atrocities and targeted killings. He further remarked that such atrocities ought to be brought under accountability. There are many other similar reports by the Global Institute International Truth and Justice Project, Bloodshed in Bangladesh, World Report 2025 of Human Rights Watch, Then we are going to videos. Videos of the occurrences. It appears from the seizure list contained in volume 4, captions, seizure list and documentary evidence that a good number of videos of the alleged occurrences have been seized by the investigating officer, which are described below. Number 1. A video of 1 hour 23 minutes and 5 seconds showing a press conference dated 14 July 2024 of accused Sheikh Hasina after her return from China, in which she, in answer to a question of one journalist, angrily remarked, pointing towards the protesting students, মুক্তিযুদ্ধের বিরুদ্ধে আর মুক্তিযোদ্ধার বিরুদ্ধে এত ক্ষোভ কেন? মুক্তিযোদ্ধাদের নাতিপুতিরা চাকরি পাবে না তো কি রাজাকারের নাতিপুতিরা পাবে? Number 2, a video of 35 seconds dated 15 July 2024 showing protest of the agitated students of Dhaka University at midnight against the remark of Sheikh Hasina made in the press conference dated 14 July 2024 pointing towards the protesting students. Number 3, a video showing the remark Rajakarder jawab debe Chhatrolig. Number 4, a video of 1 minute 5 seconds which shows attack upon the students of Kota movement by Bangladesh Chhatra League leaders and activists on 15 July 2024 at night. A video which shows that Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, while visiting damaged metro rail station on 26 July 2024, defended her previous comment in the press conference dated 14 July 2024. Number 6, a video showing Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in course of her deliberation in a function of Jubo Mohila League held in July 2024 commented that the Kota movement was illogical and also commented Jamaat Shibir Manusher Jatna. Number 7, a video showing some adverse remark of Sheikh Hasina against the female students of Rokeya Hall of Dhaka University meeting at her office on 15 July 2024. A video showing how Sheikh Hasina asked Delhi to attack Dhaka. A video shows the scenario of how protesting student Mugdho was shot dead in the July movement. This video was broadcast by YouTube channel named Narrative Bangladesh on 19 April 2025. A video which shows the scene of shooting a young person named Ridoy by police in the July movement. This video was broadcast by YouTube channel named International Truth and Justice Project on 15 January 2025. A video named Jatrabari Evidence of a Massacre Bangla showing the scenarios of killing and torturing some participants of the movement. This video was broadcast by International Truth and Justice Project YouTube channel on 14 January 2025. A video showing the scene of carrying bullet stricken young man named Nafiz at Farmgate of Dhaka. This video was broadcasted in Jamuna TV YouTube channel on 14 August 2024. A video showing how movement participant Khokon Chandra Burman was injured with gunshot in his face. It appears that the whole face including mouth, nose and eyes of Khokon Chandra Burman have been completely disfigured. This victim deposed in the tribunal as PW number 1. A video titled নির্মম 19 জুলাই শতাধিক লাশ হাজারো গুলিবিদ্ধ রক্তের জন্য হাহাকার DMC 19. A video titled RAB helicopter attacked Kota Andolon 2024 showing operation upon the protesters from RAB helicopters at different parts of Dhaka in July 2024. A video showing how protester Imam Hassan Taim Bhuiya was shot dead at Jatrabari, Dhaka. 4 videos in a pen drive showing the passing of order by DMP Commissioner Habibur Rahman to the subordinate, asking them to shoot the protesters below waist. A number of videos showing shooting upon the protesting people from helicopter. A video showing the scene of burning the dead bodies of protesting students and common people by police at Ashulia, Dhaka on 4th August 2025 during the July movement. A video showing the scene of Abu Said, a coordinator of July movement 24, being as Asabul Yamin being thrown from APC armed personnel carrier by police. A video which showing the accused Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal defending the use of lethal weapon by police. Extent of cruelty. It transpires from the evidences that cruelty of the extreme level was administered upon the dead and injured protesters. Police and activists of Awami League, Chhatra League and Jubo League blocked the entrance and exit of ambulances carrying the injuring protesters. Hospitals were asked not to give admission to the injured protesters. It appears from the testimony of PW2 that in some cases patients were searched by police and ruling party activists. Doctors were intimidated and some of the doctors were transferred due to giving treatment to the protesting injured persons. PW3 Parveen deposed that she found an injured young man shouting, save me, under Jatrabari flyover. Blood was coming out from both of his eyes. Parveen pulled him up and put him on her shoulder and looking for a rickshaw. And then 14 to 15 armed police shot them. The injured man, being hit by bullets, fell down from her shoulder. They also shot PW Parveen at her left eye, lower abdomen and other parts of the body. Blood was gushing out of her body and thus she fell down. Coordinator of the movement, Abu Said of Begum Ruqayya University, Rangpur, was shot at a close range. Doctors were forced to change his post-mortem report 5 times. PW8 Naim Chikdar was shot at a close distance of 5 meters. He was hit by 500 bullets and 3 hospitals refused to admit him, apprising that Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina instructed to refuse admission to the protesting patients. PW8 also said that Chhatra League activists were searching him and as such he was hidden in separate room by the doctors. It is revealed from the evidence of PW9 Shahina Begum that police burned the dead body of her son along with some other dead bodies in Ashulia of Dhaka. PW10 MD Enab Nazez Zaki also stated that his son was killed and then the dead body was burnt by police in Ashulia. We find from the testimony of PW10 Asabur was shot dead and set ablaze. It appears from the testimony of PW13 Dr. Muhammad Mahfuzur Rahman that most patients admitted to the hospital had no skull. The detective branch members had forbidden the doctors not to be serious in the treatment of the protesting patients and also that they had been instructed from the higher authorities not to release the protester patients admitted there. The patients were mostly aged 13 to 30 years. The DB also asked the doctors not to admit any more patients injured in the movement. This witness also said that in order to hide the injured patients from the sight of DB personnel, the doctors adopted some tactic like changing the names of the patients and the type of injury in the admission register and recording road accident or other reasons instead of bullet wounds. It appears from the evidence of PW15 Dr. Hassanul Banna that police and Awami League activists prevented treatment of the protester patients, prohibited new admission of such patients, checked admission register, took away list of patients, set down entrance of the hospital and prevented entrance and exit of the ambulances and patients. This witness also said that one patient named Mustaqin Billah was admitted through an alternative entrance. To save the protester patients, the doctors had to change the name of the patients and particular of their problems, remove them from the general ward to the post-operative ward, ICU, special cabin. He added that treatment was given to such patients at risk of life of the doctors. We find from the deposition of PW18, Dr. Razibul Islam, that he was forced to change the post-mortem report of Abu Said 4 to 5 times. He was threatened with the saying that if he does not change the cause of death of Abu Said, he would be prosecuted. He was further told that there was an intelligence report against him. PW19 Shariful Islam was injured in the bombardment in Kustia. 62 pellets were removed from his body and 500 more still in his body. It is revealed from the evidence of PW21 Dr. Zakia Sultana that on 18 July 2024 they received 200 patients aged about 14 to 25 years with bullet injuries. On 19 July 2024, also similar number of patients with bullet injuries were admitted in the hospital. Numerous patients with bullet injuries were admitted on 4th, 5th, 6th August 2024. It further appears from the evidence of this witness that out of apposite patients, 493 lost one eye forever, 11 lost both eyes forever, 28 lost vision of both eyes, and 47 lost vision of one eye. It appears from the evidence of PW22, Mr. Idris, that while his son Maruf Hussain, after being shot by police, was being taken to the hospital, a policeman poked the wounded area of his son with the rifle butt. PW23 Amena Akhtar deposed that while Home Minister Asadzaman Kamal and IGP Chaudhry Abdullah Mamun were passing across Datrabari, one police officer was showing them a video of their attacks on protesters and said, "Guli kori ekta, more ekta, ahoto hoy ekta, ektai jay, bakita jay na." It transpires from the testimony of PW27, Dr. Mashuk Ahmed, that Satrolik activists stopped ambulance carrying protesting wounded near Shahidullah Hall of Dhaka University. They also checked the patient identity, asked the doctors not to treat the wounded protesters and also not to be so serious in their treatment. He further said 5 doctors were transferred elsewhere due to rendering treatment to protesters with bullet injuries. This witness also stated that the direction of the gunshot wounds of the patients treated on 19, 20, 21 July and 4-5 August in Dhaka Medical College Hospital was from the top to the bottom. He meant that the gunshot was done from above, which obviously implies helicopter. It appears from the evidence of PW47 Nahid Islam deposed that bullets were fired from helicopter and that many false cases were filed against the protesters, and also that the activists of Awami League, Jubo League and Chhatra League prevented the treatment and burial of protesters. Furthermore, some of the protesters were forcibly disappeared and many dead bodies of the protesters were concealed. He himself and some other student leaders were abducted. PW 48 Ali Ahsan Junaid stated that on 15 July 2024, Chhatra League activists brutally attacked and injured the Dhaka University students, hindered going to the hospital and tortured them in the hospital. He further said that the protesters were fired from the helicopter. We find from the evidence of PW 54, Mr. MD Alamgir, investigating officer, that the protester named as Ashabul Yamin was thrown down from the APC by the police. Summing up by the learned chief prosecutor. The learned chief prosecutor advanced argument on conclusion of the testimonies of the prosecution witnesses. He submitted that the instant case is an unprecedented and unexceptional one in the history of this subcontinent. After achieving